You think K-pop is all lights, fame, and screaming fans. But what if I told you the biggest idols on stage aren't just performers? They're hunters, and not of fame, of demons. Because behind the music, behind the perfect choreography, there's a war most people will never see. And the girl at the center of it? She wasn't supposed to survive her first mission, but she did. And that changed everything. Her name is Jina, and the night she became a hunter was the same night she almost died. Jina didn't grow up dreaming of stardom. She grew up running from nightmares she couldn't explain, voices no one else could hear, and shadows that moved when they shouldn't. At first, everyone thought it was stress. Then they thought it was trauma. But Jina knew the truth. Something was watching her, waiting. And the moment she turned 18, it finally made its move. It happened after her first audition. She had just finished performing, her heart racing, hands shaking, but for the first time in her life, she felt normal. Like maybe she could be someone else, someone better. But as she walked home that night, the streetlights started flickering, one by one, until the entire street went dark. That's when she heard it. A whisper, right behind her, calling her name. Not gently, but like it already owned her. She ran. Of course she ran. But no matter how fast she moved, the sound stayed right behind her. Closer. Breathing. Laughing. Until suddenly, everything stopped. Dead silence. And when she turned around, she saw it. Not human. Not even close. Its face looked like it had been stitched together from different people, smiling in ways no face should ever smile, and its eyes locked onto her like she was prey. That was the moment Jina realized something terrifying. This thing had been following her for years. It lunged, faster than anything she'd ever seen, and Jina knew this was how she was going to die. But just before it reached her, a sound cut through the darkness. Music, loud, sharp, perfectly in sync. And then, 3 figures dropped from above, moving like they were part of the beat itself. Every step, every strike, timed, precise, deadly. The creature didn't stand a chance. Within seconds, it was gone, like it had never existed. Jina collapsed, shaking, trying to understand what she just saw. And that's when one of them stepped forward. A girl, no older than her, dressed like she had just walked off a stage, because she had. "Relax," she said. "We've been watching you." That was Jina's introduction to the hunters. They called themselves Velvet Rain. To the world, they were just another rising K-pop group, chart-climbing, trend-setting, untouchable. But behind the scenes, they were something else entirely. They hunted demons, using music as both a weapon and a disguise. Because demons weren't hiding in caves or shadows anymore. They were evolving, blending into society, feeding off energy, emotion, fear. And nothing produced more raw human emotion than millions of fans screaming in unison. Concerts weren't just performances, they were battlegrounds. And Jina? She wasn't chosen by accident. She attracts them, one of the members said. always has. At first, Jina refused. She thought they were insane. Demons, secret battles, weaponized music? It sounded like a fantasy, a delusion. Until the attacks didn't stop. Even after that night, she kept seeing them everywhere. In reflections, in crowds, smiling at her like they knew something she didn't. And slowly, Jina realized the truth. They weren't just a target. They were something else entirely. Something they wanted. Something they needed. And if she couldn't figure out why, it wasn't just her life at risk. It would be everything. Because the line between performer and hunter, between human and demon, was starting to blur. And Jina was standing right in the middle of it. The next performance wasn't just a show. It was a trap. But this time, they weren't the ones setting it. And as the lights came on and the crowd began to scream, Jina felt it. Something massive. Waiting. Watching. Smiling. Because tonight, the real hunt was just beginning.